This podcast contains discussions about sensitive topics, including mental health, alcohol and substance use, as well as suicide. It may also include strong language. The viewpoints expressed by guests do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the hosts. Listener discretion is advised. If you or someone you know needs support, please reach out to a trusted professional or a helpline. Welcome to Twist the Throttle, the podcast where we crank open the throttle on life's toughest rides. From mental health struggles to life on two wheels. We're here to have real, raw, unscripted conversations that break the stigma and help you navigate the road ahead. So grab your helmet, hit the road with us, and remember, it's still okay to pump the brakes. Together, we're shifting gears on mental health. Here's your hosts, Ambo and the Prez.
Well, welcome back, listeners. Another week has passed. This week we have Nugget, otherwise known as Grace. How are you, Grace?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Very good. Thanks for
Going on,
coming.
giggle butt.
Not much, really. Just working and trying to, be an adult in society.
It's a lot harder than it sounds, right?
It can get difficult at times.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I remember looking back, as a child and being like, I can't wait till I grow up. And now
Yeah.
I'm grown up and I'm
You
like, I want to go back.
Biggest trap ever.
It is.
Yeah, I wish I could go back, turn back time and redo it all again.
I should have listened to the adults.
Remember when you were a kid and you didn't want to take naps?
Yeah.
Now I love it.
Now I get cranky when I don't have it.
All right, now you know. Tell us who you are. Who is Grace?
I'm 22. I work in OSH work. If you don't know what that is, outside of school hours care. So like before and after school care kind of thing.
Really expensive. Why the fuck is it so expensive?
Honestly, I couldn't tell you. Where I am, we only charge $20 a session.
Oh, that's not too bad. Yeah,
So-
no, my kids hated it. So I was lucky. So I don't.
Yeah, but a lot of the money that we get only goes towards like groceries and stuff like that. So like if we want like fun activities to do or something like that, it comes out of our pockets.
Yeah,
so
cool.
like I remember buying like a whole sports set from Kmart for like $50 and the kids used it once or twice and then it got chucked out. But like that's just how it is.
Did,
and like
did it get chucked out because it was dirty or just because no one was...
just because no one used it. Like
Yeah. So how does it feel to be in that stage of your life?
it's hard.
It is hard. It's hard being an adult.
Hard.
So you got
super hard.
bills and rent and all that to pay now. And
I don't have rent, thank God. I still live at home, but like
How often?
yeah, true. I've very much struggled adapting to adult world. Growing up, it was pretty hard for me as a kid, so it just kind of got even harder as an adult because obviously things don't fly the way they do when you're a kid.
So you've had a lot of challenges, but also a lot of growth. If you had to sum up your journey in just a few words, what would they be?
Chaotic, very self-reflection, lots of self-reflection, and definitely patience.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I would be where I am now without all the patience that I receive from everybody, not just myself.
Yeah. We just had the conversation downstairs that you credit a lot of your growth to Zander, your life partner. What do you want to call him?
He's the best.
I'm not allowed to say boyfriend. He's not my boyfriend. Yes, he is.
He gets mad if you say it, not me.
life partner. That's nice.
Yeah.
That's nice anyway.
Yeah. I met Zander when I was about 16. I was in a pretty rough part of my life and he kind of just showed me that the world isn't all bad and that with every bad day an awesome day comes next and to just focus on that instead of
It's good to have a positive outlook on life. Good.
2 days ago
He was your knight in Dirty Little Mustache.
Yeah. With his little peach fuzz.
Peach fuzz.
So let's go back to the beginning. What was childhood like for you?
It was hard, especially growing up with undiagnosed ADHD and autism.
Yep.
I was very emotional.
Yep.
Like, you couldn't say anything to me and I'd cry at the drop of a hat. Like, that was it. Like, anything, I just tears straight away.
It was one of those things with the diagnosis I got for my ADHD. As soon as I got it, I sent it through to your mum and I was like, go get the kid tested because all the things that we thought was like her struggling was like probably this. And like I've got it from my mum. Hi, mum. You know you've got it. And yeah, it's like hereditary. So
yeah,
I think my diagnosis helped get yours across the line because you'd been bouncing around from diagnosis to diagnosis for so
100%.
long. Like everyone, like bloody antipsychotics to every different type of medication under the sun. Like,
I think I've been on about 8 or 9 different medications since I
Yeah.
started, and that was about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
It's hard finding the right one.
Oh, yeah. It's so hard. There were moments where I thought I'd found the right medication, and then 6 months would go down the line and I'd have a psychotic breakdown and then
Yeah.
end up back in
Yeah.
psych, and then I'd have to reevaluate my meds, and that was just kind of the cycle for about 2-3 years, like every 3 to 6 months.
We make the joke about the grippy sock holidays.
Yeah, the grippy sock holidays.
Like every time she went to the psych ward,
They give you grippy
they
socks?
give you socks with like the grip on the bottom.
Because then...
Like trampoline park.
Yeah, exactly.
Trampoline park socks.
Yeah, no.
When Grace was starting to fade or starting to really get to her low point, she used to say, like, I think I need a grippy sock holiday.
Yeah, I need a grippy sock vacay.
Yeah. It was a cute little code.
I've only been in that situation once, and it was a drug-induced schizophrenia.
Oh, wow.
Mum took me there.
Yeah,
wow. Spent a week there. Fell in love with an old and mouldy lady.
Yeah, really?
Who was giving me joints. Going outside and smoking joints with her.
Yeah.
And she fell in love with me anyway.
Oh, I love it.
I can't say that was a really good time in my life. But
No, it doesn't sound like a fun one.
Drug-induced schizophrenia or drug-induced psychosis.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
crazy. I
yeah.
didn't know that.
I've heard
That's what happens when people spray fly spray on your buds before you smoke them.
Wow.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what somebody
Yeah.
had done to me while I was drunk and fed me fucking marijuana
Chemically laced.
with fucking fly spray on it.
Wow.
That's
Yeah,
horrible.
imagine that.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah.
Thanks a lot for whoever did that. So your parents split when you were young.
Yeah.
That's a really big thing for any kid to go through. How do you think that shaped you growing up?
It sucked. It was definitely hard trying to understand the fact that Dad still loved us. It's just him and Mum didn't really love each other anymore. And like
Just didn't we went on the same.
Yeah, like you weren't on the same page all the time, or
So looking from the outside, as a kid, did you it was like a relief for you? Because I remember when I was fighting with the ex, it kind of would have been a relief for the kids that I was not there fighting any.
Well, I don't really remember much beforehand, because Dad and Mum split when I was 6, so I've only got 6. 2008, I'm pretty sure. 2007.
No, it wasn't that long ago. Was it?
Yeah, it has been that long.
Yeah. Anyway, it's pretty.
I thought you were 8. I remember being in Perth for your 8th.
Yes,
birthday.
no, I would have been 7 or 8.
Yeah, I was in Perth for your 8th birthday.
Yeah, but it was kind of hard. I'd go over to friends' houses and they'd have their mum and dad together, and they'd be like cuddling on the couch or cooking dinner together. And
go, gross, that's fucking disgusting.
Yeah, and everyone would say that, and I'd just be like, I
missed that.
I never got to see that really. From what I remember vaguely is just mum and dad arguing. I'm not thinking that
Yeah, sometimes it's better for the couple to be split apart than to have that around the kids, though, yeah.
Yeah, we didn't fight a lot, to be honest. We just didn't have much to do with each other's lives towards the end there.
Yeah, I remember one big blow. It's just the one fight that you guys really had.
Yeah.
But yeah,
you end up living most of your life with your mum.
Yeah.
And she remarried with her husband, Stoddy Rowley, who was a massive part of your life and a really good bloke.
Amazing.
Yeah, I've got no issues with that man at all. He's done a really good job for you guys.
Yeah, I'm forever grateful for everything he's done. I wouldn't be in the position I am now.
How much of an influence do you think he's been on your life?
Major. I think that with anything I do, I think is a little bit ingrained in me from Stoddy. When I was a kid, I was infamous for never turning a light off. And now I can't even leave a room without turning the light off.
That's good. You need to teach my kids.
He's drilled it into me to
Very frugal man.
Yeah, he's...
You're born in a tent, shut the fucking door.
Yeah, no, exactly. 100% that. And I'd always be a smartass and reply, I was born in a hospital with automatic doors. They close on their own. But yeah, growing up with Stoddy was definitely fun. I think he didn't really expect to be coming in to a household with 3 very chaotic girls. And yeah, candidly would have been 13, 14 then.
Right where mine is.
Yeah.
She's doing my head in at the moment.
Yeah.
That's a whole episode by itself.
I was tempted to bring her over and put her on the mic.
But yeah, growing up with Stoddy was definitely a bit weird. I definitely had the standoffishness of you're not my dad. But like, I don't think I ever said that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I've ever like put him on the spot and been like, well, my dad said it's okay, so I don't have to listen to you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think we managed to.
I was gonna say,
as split parents, we managed to negotiate that pretty well. Like, not,
yeah, I was gonna
we
say,
never really worked against each other.
I was gonna say, from a very young age, from what I can remember, like it was very much like you and mum Shoddy and Trish as a team. It wasn't like you and mum versus like like it wasn't split.
Yeah.
Like all the decisions that were made around like candidly and I were a group decision. Like it wasn't just something that someone did on a whim.
So going back to then, were you actually in counselling with school? Or?
Yes. In year 7 and 8, I was seeing the school guidance counsellor. Her name was Natalie. It was really funny whenever she called my mum and be like, "Hi, Natalie. It's Natalie from the Grange."
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, I was in counselling in school for a while. And then, I got expelled from the Grange due to...
Yep, fair enough. I got expelled too.
Yeah,
actually, I got given the ultimatum: you leave, or we're going to kick you out.
I'm pretty sure that's the ultimatum I got, but I never got told that. But.
Yeah, I got called into the principal's office in year 11, and it was like, "You don't want to be here. We don't want you here. Just go get a job."
I'm pretty sure my year 7 and 8 coordinator called my mum and was like, "Hey, probably best Grace goes to another school." But I suffered from bullying quite severely, so a lot of the issues I had around leaving were pretty central to that.
Yeah.
So your dad, Jav, El Jefe, he's always made an effort to be in your life. How would you describe the relationship with him growing up?
I think definitely growing up, Dad and I had a very different dynamic. I think it didn't help. I think it helped that I was the youngest. So like he saw me as the baby and I could do no wrong. And I still think he views me that way sometimes.
You do get looked after.
It was definitely hard at the start, like trying to, like when Dad went over to Perth when I was younger. I remember on my 8th birthday, Dad calling and like both of us crying on the phone because all I wanted for my birthday was Dad. And Dad was in another state.
Yeah.
And like, it's just...
Did the whole, way out west where they were in Nightfall. Yeah. Running away from our problems and trying to get shit sorted out and build it back up a nest egg left to lose and everything. So bit hard. Hard being a parent and trying not to ruin your kids.
It's hard being that far away as well.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm far away from Daisy. And I find it really difficult to be, hands-on and have a positive impact when whatever positive impact I make is only temporary. It's only a snapshot.
And then she goes back and then it's all undone again.
Yeah. So divorce can make things complicated, especially when you're young. Were there times when it was hard to balance having 2 homes and 2 families?
Definitely. Like even like if I was organising to stay at a friend's house on the weekend, or we used to stay with Dad every second weekend. So like we'd have 1 week with Mum and then like 1 weekend with like the next weekend with Dad. And I remember going to organise like a birthday party or something with a friend, and she's like, "Oh, it's on this weekend." And I remember going, I can't come. I'm going to my dad's house. And I remember I used to get so angry because I'd be like, "Oh, like I don't want to go. Like I just want to hang out with my friends." But like I'm really, really glad that Mum pushed us to go. Like she was never like held us back from going out. Like she kicked us out the door and she's like, "You're going to your father's." Like there's no if, buts or maybes. Like that's what's happening.
That was for your benefit.
Yeah, 100%. No, she was definitely kicking us out because she was sick of us. But I found that really hard, like trying to balance my friends, and like I played netball growing up and I did like school sports and stuff, and like it was just hard. Like I remember sometimes on netball games, like Dad and I would be like a couple minutes late, and I'd pretty much be running onto the court into my gear, and I'd be playing the game straight away. Like it was always hard trying to make things work perfectly, and like everything, this fits here and this fits here, and then you step back and you're like, all of the pieces are wrong. And but it's hard.
Yeah,
hard.
It's hard.
Everything
making
sucks.
It all work. I mean, I complain a lot too, and I get we're the ones that have got to sit in the car while you drive all the way.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, I guess it's hard for them to live so far away as well.
Yeah.
As you've gotten older, Has your perspective on your parents and the way you've handled things, they handle things, changed?
Yeah. I think definitely at the start it was very much Dad doesn't love us anymore. Dad's leaving because he doesn't love us. But now it's like...
Yeah, you're older.
Yeah, I understand now. Like, I get it. But, like, yeah, I don't think I've ever, like, looked ill on Dad or Mum for the way they've handled the situation. Like, I definitely do think that there could have been better ways, but I think given the knowledge and the situation at the time, I think that they handled it the best way that they could.
Yeah.
And then there's Trish, your dad's wife. What's it like getting to know her, and how's that been for you?
Trish is amazing. I adore Trish. I get so every time I've got a massive playlist on my phone that goes for about 18 hours, and it's all the songs and everything that remind me of Dad and Trish.
Yeah, cool.
Like, yeah.
Literally the next question. Trisha's a big love of musical theatre that's kind of rubbed off on you.
Yeah.
Constantly get videos of you driving along in the car, singing, belting out Les Mis or
Rent.
Or Rent or
Wicked.
something.
Something.
Stop playing on your phone in the car.
Yeah, I know. I just got a fine, my first fine. I probably should stop.
On the phone?
No, I was speeding.
Oh, okay, yeah, not concentrating.
But I did have my phone in my hand as I got caught, and I threw it into the side compartment, and I didn't get caught. So I was like, oh.
I don't even know how much that fine is, but
it's huge now. I think it's like 800 or 900.
Yeah,
holy,
and it's 4 points.
Yeah.
Holy, buy a phone holder
that works on a phone holder as well.
Yeah, so like you can't, nothing.
You're not allowed to touch the phone at all.
The only thing you're allowed to do is if it's like a pre-set up thing, like a screen in your car. That's the only time you can like touch it to change it.
Touch the radio, but not the phone.
You can't touch the phone.
Having it on your lap is a fine now. Yeah.
Even if it's like facing up in the passenger side, you can get in trouble because it could be like you just threw your phone next to you.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I've got to change a few of my habits and behaviours.
And videos. You and your sister Katie Lee have always had a unique bond. What was the relationship like you two growing up?
We definitely pushed each other.
Yeah. 5 parents, yeah.
Yeah. You know, like it was always hard for me because I think I loved Katie Lee, and I've always like aspired to be her.
We miss her, God rest her.
Yeah. She's only in Manchester, but like
it is on the other side of the world though.
Yeah, it's too far. But yeah, growing up with Katie Lee was definitely weird. There were definitely moments where we could be in the lounge room, like having a pillow fight, we're having a sleepover, and then there'll be other days where I'm chasing her around the house with a knife. Or like she used to do this thing where we'd be hanging out, and then like her friends will come over, and then she obviously, in my little 8-year-old brain, she'd go hang out with her friends. I'm like, I come too, yeah? And she's like, no. And then I'd be like, well, why not? And she's like, because you're 8.
Yeah.
Like, my friends are 13. Like, I don't want to hang out with you. And, like, I think that was hard to understand.
It's always hard for a younger sibling.
Oh, yeah, 100%. But, like, definitely as we've gotten older, we lean on each other a lot more. I think growing up with Katie Lee as well, she sheltered me from a lot. She was my
filter.
Yeah, if anything, like if I needed to talk to Mum or convince Mum of something, she would. She helped me. Everything. If I ever needed to hide something from Mum, she'd be the person I go to. We've got this thing where I'll message her and be like sister secret, and that just means that whatever I tell you cannot leave this group chat. And yeah, so like I'll be like, oh, like this happened, and she'll be like, oh, okay, how do you want me to handle this? Like, what do you want me to do? Like, do you want me to be like, yeah, fuck that bitch? Or do you want me to be like, oh, no, I'm so sorry? Like,
I love it.
Yeah, she's the best.
How you go with her being away?
It hurts a lot. There's definitely days where I'm like, oh, I don't need her. Like, I'm doing great. And then there'll be other days where I'm like, I just want a chicken cuddle. Like, all I want is my sister.
Yeah. She didn't message back and forth. Obviously, it's 12-hour difference between you.
9 now.
9, yeah.
It does make it hard.
She messages me on Snapchat every day, so
that's good.
Yeah. She reaches out. She sends me funny filters, and she sends her cat all the time.
Cool.
Shout out to Couscous.
Catechus.
Catechus.
Atticus, but catechus.
So music's always been a big part of your relationship with your dad. What kind of role does it play in your life?
Definitely what I'm playing will dictate my mood. So if I'm very much, I express myself with music.
Yeah.
I have always struggled to talk about my feelings and stuff like that. So typically I'll play a song that's similar to how I'm feeling, and then I'll just like kind of wait and observe, see if anyone picks up on it. But music's a major part of my life. I send Dad photos every day of our day list. It's like a thing that Spotify does.
Yeah.
And you get really weird names and stuff like that.
It's been a good, funny little thing the last couple of months.
Yeah, it's hilarious. It makes me giggle so much.
Like I was the one the other day I got was like divorced dad rock Wednesday morning. It's like,
well, we both had one.
Spotify.
We both had one on Tuesday, and it was like angry emo rock. And we're both like, oh, you can tell we're both pissy on a Tuesday.
What was your one the other day that made me laugh? It was main character.
My main character moment. Main character moment. That was great.
So is there any certain songs or bands that instantly remind you of your dad?
Slipknot, Tool, Stone Sour, Chris Cornell. So many. So many.
So when Gracie was like child seat, baby seat in the back of the car age,
Eminem.
We used to go to like to hang out. Like I'd have the kids a lot. We go to baseball and stuff like that. And yeah, from the back seat, you'd hear like her screaming out the chorus to metal songs and
Respect yourself. My favorite was when we'd ever play. I think it was Song 3 by Stone Sour. And there's a line in it, and it's like, it's all downhill from here, motherfucker. And I remember Dad being like, turning it up, and I'd just scream at the top of my lungs. And then I'd be like, hee hee, I got to say a swear word. It wouldn't even be like, it would just be like, hee hee, I swore.
So is there any one particular song that can sum up your relationship with him?
Bonkers by Dizzy Rascal.
I would have gone with a different one.
Or Duality by Slipknot. There's so many.
Yeah.
But
What's one song that's our song?
There's lots of our songs. Oh, Welcome to the Black Parade by My Chemical Romance. Yeah, whenever that comes on, Dad sends me like...
I'll send a video of her singing it. She'll sing it. I'll sing it to her. She'll sing it to me.
I'll sing like the second part of the song.
Just like text a line of the song and bounce back and forwards until we finish it.
So we'll flip that over. What's it like having Trish and her influence on the music? Is there anything that you can relate to with her as well?
I think I found, the first proper thing that Trish sat us down for was The Lord of the Rings. It was the extended cut of all three.
Yeah.
So I think it was like 7 hours or per movie.
I was like, it's like 13, 14 hours.
Yeah.
We sat down and watched movies together.
Yeah, it was.
That was the girls' first weekend with Trish. Yeah.
Awesome. But yeah, I think having Trish as an influence in my life is amazing. Like if I need a vent to her about anything, like she's always there to listen. If I need a shoulder to cry on, she'll be like, I've got 2. Well, 1.5 technically. But
she's got 2. It's just made of like robotic stuff in it.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's just metal.
There's nothing in there.
But yeah, having Trish around, I think definitely has been awesome. Like I've never had any real issues with Trish. Like I've never had any moments where I've been like, you can't say that to me. Like I've always respected her, and I hope she respects me too. But
definitely.
Yeah, I also think it's just amazing, like the way she supports Dad with everything, and like
she does well.
She's just incredible. She's an amazing human.
She's made me a better human, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
We'll go back a little bit in your life, bub. You left school in year 9. What was it about school that just didn't work for you?
Kids.
People, what a bunch of bastards.
Yeah, pretty much. Slipknot wrote a really good song. It's called People Equal Shit.
Yeah.
I think that sums up everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think with school, I really struggled with the whole routine of like, you have to sit still in a classroom for 45 minutes to an hour at a time. And then you got to pack up and do the exact same thing 6 hours a day, 5 days a week.
Programming.
Yeah. And I never did it. I never fitted with it. I'd always come home early, or I'd wag, or like I'd just skip the class. Like I just wouldn't want to go. And I think, I found it hard because like I obviously wasn't the smartest kid in the class, but I wasn't.
This is the thing that bothers me about.
I wasn't the dumbest kid.
The way the school goes. Like, you're not it's not a lack of intelligence. It's a lack of not fitting the cookie cutter.
Yeah,
like
100%.
You're a very smart girl, and you've always been a very smart girl.
But yeah,
it's
I
more
just-
the not fitting in. For
I'm
the,
not school smart. I
but
don't
you can,
fit
you
the
can
normal
be. Yeah,
social
you can
criteria.
be if it's something you're interested in.
Yeah, 100%. Like,
Yeah.
if there was a class on like space or like dinosaurs or something, like I'd 100% take that class.
I think
would
they're
ace it,
slowly
like-
changing the
They're
dynamic
trying.
of school, and they're trying to, like, if kids are really struggling, they take them away and they try and teach them different ways of learning that type of subject.
Well, like I just kind of got put into what we called the hub. It was where like you'd go and sit with all the coordinators around you, and I'd just get given classwork because I'd be too disruptive or too loud, and I'd make friends with anybody. So you couldn't put me somewhere because I'd just start talking, and then everyone would start talking, and then the lesson's over.
Yeah,
I haven't learnt anything. Like,
I know this isn't a popular person to talk about at the moment, but Elon Musk has a school where it's like get the kids to do what they're interested in. And then give them the best resources to get as good as they can at that one thing. Like, you don't have to be good at science if you're not interested in science. You don't have to be good at math if you're not good at math. If you can, like, a really good creative writer, let's get him everything he needs for that. Yeah, if you're really good at math and you can't write, don't force him to write. Give him a better calculator.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah, like really lean into where the kid starts to go in direction.
I agree with that philosophy.
I think I don't agree with anything else the dude's doing at the moment. He's gone a bit off the rails, but I think that approach to schooling would have really helped you. For sure,
100%.
Like and myself as well, probably yourself as well. Yeah.
I really, really struggled with everything like that, and like I was always good at literature. Like, so I'm very good at creative writing and
good imagination.
Yeah, I'm very, very imaginative, and like I remember when we were doing our like Year 9 exams. Like the only exam I passed was English. And I remember being so upset about it because I was like, I'm not good at this, I'm not good at maths, I'm not good at science, but I'm good at words. And then like trying to explain that to all my teachers, being like, well, I just don't understand the problem. And they'll like explain it to me. And I'm like, that doesn't help me. Like I need you to like pull it all apart and take it step by step with me. And I don't think, especially teachers, they don't care that much. Like they don't want to have to spend 20-30 minutes back after class.
It's not a thing of care. It's more a thing of like they don't have the time.
Yeah, but like like it's just
they've got like 40 kids in the classroom.
20-30 kids and one teacher who's barely holding it through.
Well, you've got like one teacher to 4 classes depending on what the subjects are. Like,
so you've talked about struggling with anxiety from a young age, being bullied. How has that impacted you?
Majorly. I think for the longest time, I only ever believed what I was told by kids at school. It took me quite a long time to realise that I wasn't the pathetic piece of shit that they thought I was. Bullying was really hard because it was by a group of my closest friends, who I thought were my closest friends.
Girls are bitches, man.
Oh, guys too. Like it was both.
Guys are. You can go if a guy's got a problem, you can punch him in the face and be mates after lunch. Like girls will emotionally pull you apart.
Even to this day,
I'll be your friend so that I can draw you in close to fucking
even to this day. I see like the 2 girls that like bullied me severely, and I'll like wave to be nice, and they'll just like look me up and down, and I'm like, it was 6 years ago, guys. Get over it. Like we're not 12 anymore. Like I can remember an instance where I was staying at a friend's house with like 2 other friends, and I'd fallen asleep a little bit earlier, and then like I had to leave earlier in the day because whatever we were doing. And I was like, oh, I left my clothes at my friend's house, and they'd cut them up.
Yeah.
Like
I remember this.
Yeah, they glued a pair of my jeans together, so then like I couldn't wear them at all. And I had a shirt, like a limited edition shirt from Disneyland from when I went overseas, and they cut my shirt up. And glued like all my pants together so I couldn't put them on or anything.
Not subtle.
They were horrible. I used to get apples thrown at me. I used to get followed home from school. Like I used to get tormented on the bus. Like I couldn't do class presentations without people yelling shit at me, and then I'd obviously break down crying, and then everyone would be like, "You're a fucking sook. Like stop crying. Like you're such a crybaby." Or like I can remember an instance where because I have formerly self-harmed, where I was in the toilets and I was just having a really, really hard time, and a girl slid a razor under the slid a razor under the thing and said like, put it to some good use. And I was just like, oh, cool. Like people I don't even know. Like, I didn't even know this girl. I'd never seen her before, but for someone to just do that kind of thing, like, it really put into perspective how shit kids are for me. Like,
really.
Scary, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not that long ago. You're only 22.
yeah, exactly. Like,
Yeah. So you talked about self-harm. It was a really difficult thing for any young people to go through. What happened in your life at the time? Was it just the bullying or?
I think it was a case of bullying, not fully understanding my emotions at the time. Because, I would break down in tears and then I'd get told, like, why are you crying? Like, there's no need to cry right now. Like, you're being dramatic. Or, like, I never fully allowed myself to just feel things. I would always shove it down into, like, a little box. And then obviously over time, the box would explode. But I think my turning point was actually my first boyfriend. I think he'd broken up with me. And I remember being so miserable and depressed about it. And I think I self-harmed. I did something that was so dumb.
Yeah.
Now looking back at it, I'm like, you're an idiot. Like,
At the time, it's not though.
oh yeah, 100%. And like, I remember like the countless days and like hours that we would spend in the Royal Children's Hospital, like just waiting to be seen by a mental health professional. Like, and they'd always be like, oh, like she's okay. Like, whatever, but it was because I knew how to sweet talk the nurses. So I knew how to tell them what they wanted to hear so I could get out.
Part of what I said about being, it was never an intelligence thing.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you could read people very well.
I am good at reading people, yeah.
And it's good and a bad way. Like, I don't mean this as an insult, but yeah, you have a master's degree in manipulation.
Oh yeah, I'm so good at it. I can get anything I want if I really try. I always say that.
Yeah.
So you ended up in hospital. So obviously mum and dad found out what was going on. They were there to help you and support you. And
I think it was really hard on a group of my friends as well because I'd been hanging out with a friend of mine beforehand and then she had gone home to go do something or she was going to see her boyfriend or whatever the situation was. And I remember my candidly calling her like 2-3 hours after she left and said, have you heard from Grace? And then my friend being like, no, what's going on? And she's like, well, she's in the hospital. She's just tried to kill herself. And then my friend like freaking out because she's like, I was with her like
I was just there
2-3 hours ago. Like she was fine. Like,
yeah.
I think that was really hard for me as well because I felt like such a burden on everybody because I was struggling. And like I needed to realize that just because I was struggling doesn't mean that I'm doing really bad. Like,
yeah. You always had a lot of support.
Oh yeah, I've had.
Did you feel like we just didn't get it, or did it help at all? Or?
I think it definitely helped having you guys to lean on. I definitely think there were moments where I was just like, just fuck off, like just leave me alone, like you don't get it. But I think now that I'm growing older, it's definitely a case of like, well, you did get it. I just didn't get it. Like. I was not thinking clearly or I wasn't doing this when I could have been handling it different. And like over the years of therapy and self-reflection, it's taken me so long to acknowledge the fact when I am doing bad. And like a lot of my problems were like I wouldn't acknowledge that I was bad until I was like bad. Like I was in the emergency department, like about to be thrown in a straitjacket in a padded room, locking key gone. Like that was my notice. But now, like, I can kind of pick up on little things. Like, one of my telltale signs is if I'm not doing well is, like, I won't shower or, like, I won't keep up with personal hygiene, which is, like, a really big thing because, like, nobody wants to be smelly. But, like, my brain is so focused on trying to combat these thoughts that I'm not even thinking about things like that. Like, and, like, I think with Zander as well, like, he finds that really, really hard sometimes because he'll be like, why can't you just get up and go shower? And I'll be like, I just can't. I agree. Like, why can't I just do this thing? And he's like, you do it all the time. Like, you do it every night. And I'm like, I know. I'm like, I just can't do it sometimes. And I'm like, and it's so hard trying to explain that to him.
You just got to prepare yourself.
Called ADHD paralysis.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, you know what you've got to do. Like,
I want to do the task.
And what people don't realize in a ADHD brain is you know what you have to do. You know you can do it.
I know how to do it.
You can't force yourself to do it. You try and do it. It's almost like it physically hurts to get up to go do the thing. And then you have, on top of that, guilt because you're not doing it. and your brain just spirals. It's like, I call it my broken twin turbo brain. Yeah, like as soon as it goes off the rails,
I call it the sit pit.
There's like 400 things going on, and like now I can't move because
Yeah.
there's too much happening. Like,
Yeah, I call that my sit pit.
yeah.
So I always say to Zander, I'll be like, don't let me sit down. And he's like, what do you mean? I'll be like, if I need to do something, do not let me sit. I'm like, because I'm not getting up.
That'll be it. Yeah.
And he'll be like, no, like it'll be fine. And then like I'll sit down, and then he'll be like, oh, when are you going to do the dishes? And I'll be like, I'm seated down.
Yeah,
I'm not.
You missed.
No, you missed your chance. I told you. Like,
we discussed this, bro.
literally.
So you've been on and off medication over the years.
Yeah.
What's that journey been like? Have you found anything that's really worked for you?
Only recently.
Yep.
A lot of the times with the medications that I was given, I started medication at quite a young age. I would have been about 12, 13.
I don't even think you're that old. Yeah.
12, 13.
Yeah,
like I was quite young. So it was really hard to find a GP that would sign off on it. And I've lost my train of thought. My brain's just completely.
Yeah, no, we're talking about like different medications. You've only just recently, like I would say, in the last
year.
Yeah, the last 12 months.
Yeah.
You've finally.
I found my shtick.
Yeah, whatever it was that was. Yeah, like a lot of people don't realize mental health isn't like a choice, or it's not. It's not something that's.
I can't just.
It's
turn
not
it
just
off.
inflicted on you.
I can't.
Sometimes it's something you can't control. It's one chemical missing from your brain makeup that makes a normal person normal. What if you want to use that term?
Neurotypical.
Yeah.
Is it neurotypical?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Neurodivergent.
Yes. Yeah. It's us. It's the other side.
We are the strange ones. Yeah.
No, the normal people are the strange ones because
You're talking about a movie now, Divergent.
that is a
Insurgent.
good movie.
Insurgent.
I read something the other day that was absolutely amazing. I follow so many different ADHD guys on Instagram now, and it was like
I get the memes.
Yeah, but it was like only you're not broken. You were just born in the wrong time, because if you're a caveman, the caveman who couldn't sit still and was like always constantly doing shit was the best hunter-gatherer. It's only when you have to sit still in a classroom or sit at a computer that this is a problem.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's what society has become that's the problem. It's not, it's not you. I was like, I like that, but I kind of live in this time, so like, let's fix it and get it working. So yeah, you're the same. Yeah.
So you've had a lot of different mental health diagnoses over the years. Did those labels help you or make things more confusing for you?
Definitely more confusing, because I can vividly remember they were like, oh, you have depression and anxiety. And I was like, yep, okay, like that makes sense. And then I was with the Royal Children's for a little bit, and they were like, oh, you've got level 2 ASD. And I was like, I don't think that fits, but okay. Then I went to another therapist. Oh, you've got BPD now. Don't worry about the autism diagnosis. And then it's like, okay. And then it's like, oh.
It was one of those things.
You've got psychosis. Don't worry about all this other stuff. And it's like, what do you mean? Like, I've been diagnosed with these things. Like, what do you mean just ignore them? And then like.
There were so many of the diagnoses as well where it's like, here's the 10 things that make up the diagnosis.
And I'd always
Grace
like.
Grace has got like 8. You're like, so it's not that. Like, what else could it be? And they're like, no, it's this, but it could also be this. And you're like, well, which fucking one is it? Because the treatment's completely different.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then so they'd treat both. And then I'd end up
spiraling
the more brain chemicals you fuck with, the more weird shit gets for her. And then she's got more symptoms, and this is a different diagnosis.
Yeah.
You're like
I remember being on an injection, and basically it was meant to be like once a month. It was like an antipsychotic that they just injected my arm, and then once a month I'd go back and get it done. And then I was getting it injected every 2 weeks because my metabolism would just break it down too quick. And then by the time I go to my 3rd week, I'd be psychotic and I'd be like manic. I would be just
because your brain's
trying to compensate,
making more of the chemical to fight.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
it's hard. it's not an exact science. Mental health. That's the thing. Like
that's why it's so scary.
Yeah, the one thing we struggled with. Gracie would get a diagnosis, and because she's intelligent, she'd research the shit out of it. And then even if she didn't have the symptoms, she would convince herself that she did if that makes sense. Like, she wasn't trying to manipulate us. It was like her brain going, well, it has to be this, so we have to be that. That's
what I want the solution.
This is the answer we've been given.
This is what I want so I can get a solution.
I'm this, so I have to do these things because that's what the diagnosis is. And we used to always constantly say, like, you're not your diagnosis. Like, let's work through this together. And like, it's taken years and years for me to understand, that it wasn't, how do I put it? It wasn't malicious from either side.
No,
it's more just confusion.
I just
trying to slot into a box when
I wanted to fit.
We didn't know.
somewhere.
We didn't know what the box was yet.
Yeah. Like I always struggled to fit in anywhere. Like I can make friends super quickly, but I can also lose friends just as quick. Like I was always terrible with friendships, and still to this day, I'm still pretty bad with them. But my group of friends that I've got
You've
now,
got a pretty loyal group now.
They're amazing. I wouldn't change it for the world. Like,
shout out to my wrestling buddies.
What up, Will and Charlie? But yeah, I think definitely it's so funny because I never would have met any of those people if Zander didn't move out. But yeah, I'm super grateful for everybody. Like,
we brushed on Zander at the start, but we didn't really give him enough credit. Like, Zander, your relationship with Zander has been
complicated.
Let's go with complicated.
It's the easiest word to say.
No labels are allowed.
Yeah,
you guys are.
We're not labeled.
Live in each other's pocket.
He is my background on my phone.
You've spoken about like kids and marriage and everything, but they're not in a relationship.
Yeah, we're not dating.
They're exclusive. There's no.
We're not dating.
Every freaking label you could put on, they're in a relationship, but they're not in a relationship.
Do you want to know what? Do you want to know what I find funny? I'd be like, what to you? I'm like, what defines a relationship? And he's like, going to family things. So because he doesn't come to my family things and I don't go to his, we're technically not in a relationship.
Well, there you go.
And I'm like, you do come to my family things. You're like a special guest.
I have all the time in the world for the boy, not just because of what he's done to help you get through your life, but he's a very driven, very
he's amazing. Like
when Grace and Zander first met, he was working 2 jobs as a high school plus 2 jobs and then he was in his apprenticeship, and he was like,
he's had 3 jobs his whole life. Like he worked at the fish and chip shop for like 2 years, and then worked at Macca's for like 3, and then now he's in his 4th year in Sparkiness. I
love that. You've worked with different therapists over the years. Have you found that difficult to trust mental health professionals?
I think it got to a point when, like, because I can probably say I've had about 10 to 12 therapists over the years. A lot of them were just like them living their lives, like going on maternity leave, or they're moving up in their job, or like they're taking a step back or something like that. I think, at the start, I found it really, really hard to trust people. But I think now that I've found a team that I work with that are just incredible, and I wouldn't change it for the world. But I think finding that therapist for me was so hard because all my therapists wouldn't push me. So like they'd be like, so how did it feel when your parents got divorced? And I'd immediately start crying, and then they go, whoa, like, okay, we won't talk about that. And then I'd never get anything resolved. But my therapist now, Liz, is literally the best person ever. Like, she's so amazing. She pushes me in ways that I didn't even know were possible, or she just helps me from a different perspective. Like, if I'm like, oh, like, I was so annoyed, like, this happened, and then, like, this is how it happened, and then this is what happened after. Like, what does that even mean? And she'll be like, what did you think about it because this happened first? And I'd be like, oh, shit, you're right. Like, it's just...
So is she the one that says she's giving you the ADHD?
Yeah, she's helping. Like, she's actually, like, she's the one who gave me the ADHD diagnosis.
That's right. How does that feel? Is it making sense to you?
Oh, my God, everything makes so much sense now. I always thought that, like, I was just a bit different. Like, I was just a bit, like, I always thought I was just quirky, and, like, I did, like, the funny voices and, like, constantly clumsy, only to find out that that's ADHD, and that's just normal for people with ADHD. And, like, a lot of my friends growing up were the neurotypical, like, normie. They listened to white music, white pop music and stuff like that. And
shout out to Meerkat.
knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, like I think it was definitely hard. And then like obviously I had some friends who were neurodivergent, but they were more on the higher on the spectrum than I was. So I was like, well, I don't fit in there, but I don't fit in here as well. So like it kind of just felt like a social outcast and like a wallflower, basically.
So this one kind of comes into it as well. As a teenager, you fell into the wrong crowd for a while.
Definitely.
What actually drew you to them?
Honestly, I think it was the idea of the fact that like the group of girls I was friends with, their parents didn't care about anything. Like they could host parties and they could have drinks and they could have boys stay over. And I just thought like, that's so cool. Why can't I do that? And then like I remember talking to mum about it once and her being like, you're not sleeping in the same bed with a boy until you've been in a relationship for like 6 months or rah, 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 like. And I'd be like, and I'd always laugh and be like, oh, mum doesn't think my relationship is going to last, and guarantee you within 2 weeks of that conversation, I would be broken up with.
Just looking at it from an outside perspective, I'm thinking of my little girl. Like she's getting.
She's up to that age.
Yeah. Fuck.
I was the worst of the worst, so you should be fine. I was pretty bad.
We'll see.
One of the big things that Natalie and I agreed on was we would much rather our girls bring a guy home than end up in some park somewhere doing something. That,
of course.
You know what I mean? Like if least if they're in their room, you know, you don't want to know what's going on, but
you can just walk down and check.
I'm one of those dads with a fucking chainsaw cutting a hole through the fucking door.
I can remember one memory of when I was younger and I had brought my boyfriend to come stay with me at Dad's house, and Dad walked, it was in Amesbury, and Dad walked down to the front of the house and grabbed his axe off the plaque and hung it on my bedroom door. And then I remember looking at my dad and being like, why are you doing that? And then my boyfriend was like, I know why he's doing it. And like, even then.
Didn't have to say anything.
Yeah, he didn't even say anything. He just walked over and put it on, and he just like immediately
I remember my dad coming in the room. Now, I hope he's listening to this, because I remember him coming in the room and like it would have been like mid-morning or something. Get the fuck out of bed, get a job. And I was kind of mid-stroke.
I'm getting a job.
It's not the kind of job you want.
We've talked about how long you didn't feel like you were just Grace. Can you explain what that means now?
It's still like I'm still working that out. Yeah, like it's always I've never been just Grace. Like I've always been even if I go out in Werribee, like I'll be like, oh, you're Katie's little sister, and I'm like, I'm 23, like nearly 23 now, guys. Like I'm not a little kid anymore.
Yeah, you're still the little one though.
Oh yeah, always with everything.
Well, you grew up with like Stoddy was massive in his world of baseball.
Yeah, and you guys were.
Yeah, we were both pretty big personalities in that scene. Where
100%.
Everyone knew who we were, so you'd show up and you'd be like, "Oh, it's Stoddy's daughter."
Yeah, I'd get people that I wouldn't even know being like, "Oh my God, Gracie," and I'm like,
"I haven't seen you since you were in a pram." Like, how the fuck would I remember you?
I don't know who you are.
Yeah.
I can vividly remember being like with Stoddy and someone, I think it was Shawnee Pengali, and he's like, "Hey Grace, how you going?" And I was like, "I don't know who you are." I looked at Stoddy and I'm like, "Who the fuck was that?" And he's like, "It's Shawnee," and I was like, "Oh, I know Shawnee, like I know him," like. But yeah, just like the like, "Oh hey Gracie, like how you going?" Like even if I'm in like at home in Geelong, like if I'm walking around, like I'll see like an Aces hat or something, and I'll always get like the "G'day," like how you going? And I'm like, fuck's sakes, like I can't go anywhere now. Like
it's a funny thing about that world. It's a pretty small world.
100%.
I suppose like there's probably like what 10,000 people in Victoria that play baseball or something.
Well, like
and
even
we know all of them.
Yeah, well, like even when I was like at my old service in Geelong East, like there was a parent there who played baseball, and I was like, "Oh, that's awesome." And then she's like told me that she like started out in Melton, and I was like, "Oh, like do you know the Titans?" And she's like, "Yeah, like I started with them. Like Jeff was my coach," and I was like, "That's my dad." And I was just like, I can't escape it. And then like I made friends in like when I was working in like a long daycare service, and her partner played baseball with Stoddy. And I was like, are you like, what the fuck? Like, why am I just a magnet for these people? Like,
sorry, I'm a biker now. They all know you too.
Yeah, I know.
So what's some of the things you're doing to actively shape your life at the moment?
Going to the gym.
Yeah,
I'm
cool.
really been trying to go to the gym.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get into a routine with that. I've always suffered from self-esteem issues and like I've never liked the way I looked. And I just figured stop sitting on the sidelines and sulking about it when I could be actually doing
Do
something to
something
fix
about
it.
it.
Like,
I agree.
like I want to go more and I probably should, but at the moment
I've got a thing I'll pay for it and then I won't go.
Yeah. Well, Zander's paying for it at the moment, so I'm not going, and he's getting pretty shitty.
Yeah.
At least once a week, he'll come up to me and be like, "Am I cancelling the membership?" And I'm like, "No." And he's like, "Are you gonna go?" And I'm like, "Maybe."
I think I had a gym membership for 4 years. I went 3 times.
And I think if you actually
Cost me a fortune.
had somebody to go with,
Yeah.
you think you'd probably go a little bit more.
Yeah, you got to have the drive. It's not something you can force yourself into. Or
Oh, definitely not.
I can't force myself into it anyway.
So now you're working in childcare and studying and moving up in that field. What made you want to go down that path?
I've always been great with kids.
Yeah.
Like any,
unless they're your own age.
yeah, fuck them. Kids younger than me, totally fine. People older than me, so sweet. People my age, go fuck yourselves. Like you're all cunts, and I don't like any of you.
The views and opinions of the guests on our show do not represent the host's opinions.
Hi, Mum.
She's in the older bracket, so she's fine. But yeah, like any family function with anybody, like even on dad's side or mum's side, like I'd always go hang out with the kids, and like I was the baby of the family for 14 years.
So what do you love the most about working with kids?
Just kids. They're great. They're funny. They bully me, but
No filter.
yeah, like it's just funny watching them interact. Like I can think of an example. Yesterday I was at work and one of the kids was like trying to make fire with 2 sticks, and I was trying to explain to him that he can't do it. And then he tried to like explain to me how fire was created, and I'm like, dude, I'm 10 years older than you. I know how fire works. And then he'd just be like, no, you don't. But I'm going to tell you anyway. And then I got one the other day and he's like, do you want to know what my favorite bug is? And I'm like,
Sure.
What's your favorite bug? Like, come on, tell me. Like, it's just like the weirdest things that they come out with. Like, and it always makes me laugh. And don't get me wrong, there are definitely days where I'm just like, fucking hate my job. Like, I want to quit. But there are definitely more days where I'm like, this is so amazing. Like, this is so rewarding. Like, I come home laughing or, just have like a good day.
Do you think what you've been through and the challenges and struggles you've got through have made you more empathetic as a...
Oh, 100%. I think I see a lot of myself in a few of the kids that I teach. Obviously, like kids with some behavioural issues. I definitely can observe things from a different perspective now, rather than looking at everything at like a face value, like them being like, if some little girl's like, I'm really sad today, I'm not just going to stop it at like, oh, why are you sad? Like, I'll be like, oh, like, has something happened? Like, do you need anything? Like, can you, like, do you want to talk about it? Do you not want to talk about it? Like, I feel like I can definitely have more of an open conversation about that sort of stuff.
So do you see yourself staying in childcare, or do you see you moving into different fields? Or
I would like to stay in childcare for a little bit. I want to work towards getting my diploma in early childhood education, I'm pretty sure it's called. I would love to be able to become a coordinator, so run my own service, which is so much fun. So much paperwork, but
What's your 5-year plan look like?
Well, this year I really, really want to get my physical health on track. So I really want to try and lose at least 15 kilos. That's my goal by Christmas. It's a long time, but I've worked out from speaking to doctors and stuff that
Losing it quick isn't a great idea.
Yeah, that, and I struggle to lose it quickly.
You got to change that habit.
Yeah, and all the food I've ever eaten my whole life has just been processed garbage. So I'm trying to burn off fat that's been there for a decade, like kind of thing.
Yeah.
So we get into motorcycles because it is a motorcycle podcast after all. Your dad has always been into motorcycles, but didn't get into riding until after the divorce. What was it like watching him step into that world?
It was pretty cool. I can remember your first bike, I think it was. It was the blue Kawasaki, was it? Yep, and it had the Australian flag. I can
I got a photo of you sitting on that.
Yeah.
At the front. I'll put that on the show.
Yeah, like I can think of like even like little times when we went on like little rides around the corner or something like that. Like I don't think I've ever seen him so excited about something. Like it was so cool, like watching his face light up like a little kid when there was like a really cool bike nearby. And like I think that's rubbed off on me now because like I'll hear a Harley or something and my head immediately pops up and I'm like, where is it? Like,
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah, like the other day I saw like plain white Harley, like white everything, and I was like, that's fucking beautiful.
Should we mention that your mum might hear this and you asked about getting your bike license, or should we leave that one alone?
I would like to get my bike license. I definitely would. I would like a few more years road experience first.
That was my advice.
Yeah.
I've seen your car.
Yeah.
Maintenance is really important.
Yeah, it's.
Do you fill up your own petrol at the petrol station? Oh, that's good. Do you have many conversations?
If you're a fan of the show, you know you had to get a service station in here.
I've seen on the little question run there wasn't one on.
It's like, he's let me down. He's let me down, the bastard.
That's all right. So Rust Nuts isn't just a riding group, it's a community. Have you seen firsthand how it's helped people?
Just like watching, like even when I came, I think it was a Christmas party.
Yeah.
I came down for a couple hours. Like just watching everybody interact, like it doesn't feel like a group of friends.
But you've been to a few meetings.
Yeah, I've been to a few parties, and
you've also like birthday messages to Uncle Jiggles.
Yeah, I messaged Jiggles the other day, and like I wouldn't say I'm close with like Roger's daughter Alana, but we talk occasionally. Like I'm definitely, I think it's great that you guys all have somebody. Like it's not a case of, there's not a single person in that group that I couldn't go to for anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Like if I messaged Jiggles or Roger or Sarge even at 2:00 in the morning and I was like, I'm stuck somewhere, I don't know how to get home.
Something wrong with my car.
Yeah, definitly.
We do.
My car's doing this.
The three people on this podcast at the moment have a group chat that should just be called
Grace's car.
What's this? What's this thing on my car? Why is it making this noise?
What does this mean? But yeah, like I have no doubt in my mind that there's not a person that I couldn't call. And I just think it's awesome, like just watching all of you guys hang out and stuff. It's so surreal to see the community you've built.
So what do your friends think of your dad?
A lot of my friends see him as the scary Viking guy.
Yeah.
But then I have to explain to them that he's not. He may look scary, but he's actually a giant teddy bear. I can vividly remember the first time Zander and Dad met, and Zander was absolutely terrified to meet Dad. He was like, your dad's a scary man, like he's going to yell at me, he's going to break my bones, he's going to bury me in the backyard.
Good.
Like he was terrified. And
hope you're listening, Zander, it's fucking probably possible.
And then, I just remember Dad walking up to him and being like, hey mate, how you going? And Zander's like put his hand forward and like Dad's like, oh, like what do you do? Like just asking all these questions, and Zander's like, he's not scary. Like he's actually quite a nice guy. I'm like, yeah, he's funny. I'm like, he looks scary. I'm like, but he's not scary. I'm like, he's not scary without a reason to be scary.
Do you think my involvement in mental health, especially with Twist the Throttle, has changed the way you see me?
A little bit, in a good way. Yeah. I think knowing that you have the open-mindedness with a lot of things is great, because I'm not saying like this is how it's always been, but like I feel like there's definitely been times where I've been afraid to reach out to some like you or Mum or something like that, because I'm like, I feel like you don't get it. But now knowing that like you're doing all of this, and it makes me so happy, and like I support you through and through, and I respect everything you do, and I think what you're doing is amazing. Like I think so highly of you.
I know. Very proud of you too, kid.
I do my best.
So is there anything you want to add to the podcast, Nugget? Anything you think we've missed?
No, not really. I'm pretty easygoing. I don't have many questions, no.
No, you've done really well. You've answered a lot of questions, but we've got one last one. What does Twist the Throttle mean to you?
It is my dad's podcast. No, it's just, for me, I view it as a platform to give people the chance to speak.
Yep.
I'm not looking at it like, oh, it's just two dudes sitting there chatting. Like, I listen to the episodes every week.
That sounded very specific.
But like, yeah.
At least this podcast, he's got pants on.
Yeah, exactly. Thank goodness.
We do have a link.
I've seen you without pants way too many times, I think. But yeah, no, I think it's just amazing that you're giving people a chance to speak and give a platform where they can share their story.
Want to come on and speak?
Yeah, exactly. I think it's such a tricky thing to do. Like, I was very nervous about coming on the show, but I think after sitting and just chatting with you guys, it doesn't feel like an interview.
No.
It just feels like we're just having a chat and like that's it. And I think
good.
That's what we go for.
I think that's amazing. Like, it doesn't feel like an interview or anything like that. It just it feels like three friends hanging out.
That's good. Well, thanks a lot, Grace, for coming along.
All right. Love you, Bob.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for riding with us today on Twist the Throttle. If you enjoyed the ride, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with your crew. Remember, no matter how tough the road gets, you're never riding alone. Stay safe, stay open, and catch you on the next ride. Keep that throttle twisted.